I, male 44, recently found out my wife, female 39, who is due in December, has been cheating on me, and now I'm even unsure if they're my kids. I haven't told my wife that I know about her affair, and frankly, I don't want to. I've been with her for so long that I don't know if I can live without her. I don't know how long she and this guy have been meeting up. I hope it's only been a couple of times because that'll be easier to get over. I'm trying to keep myself together for my 14-year-old, but it's hard. Whenever I get a chance by myself, I have a breakdown. I don't get what I did to cause her to do this. I thought I was a good husband, a good father, and a good friend. Turns out I wasn't. I found out about the affair a couple of days ago from my 14-year-old. I've reassured her nothing is wrong, and I'll have me and her mother explain it. I'm thinking about just telling her that me and her mom have an open relationship to keep this under wraps. It will make it not look like she cheated on me. I've just been going through the motions. My wife is still with her parents. She's barely talking to me. Now I know why. Maybe if I tell her I know about her affair, she'll end it and come back home. We have a good life together. We're good together. I feel like I'm rambling. If this was my brother and I found out his wife cheated on him and he was talking like how I am now, I'd grab him by the collar and set him straight. I've watched films of this stuff, heard about it, and even watched shows where the couple talks about how they get past infidelities. I would think, they're so stupid, just get divorced. I'd never forgive my wife if she cheated on me. But now I'm in the same shoes and I sound just like them. From what I have seen so far, it was just emotional and nudes, but my daughter had taken plenty of pictures, and I've only seen about 4 so far. There are at least 30 photos. I feel that if I go through the rest of these photos, it'll confirm that she may have been having this affair for a long time. My daughters might not even be my kids. If I go public with this, it won't just turn my world upside down, it'll affect my daughters too. I don't want to hurt them like that. I only eat when my daughters are around me to keep up the facade that everything's fine. But when she's away, I'm throwing up and shaking. This isn't just some high school relationship. This is the woman I've built a life with. I know what I should do, but I don't want to. Over the last few days, I've realized how much my life circles around my wife and kids. If I dig any further into this, I just might break. If you've been married, are married, or in a long-term relationship with kids and a home, then how do you get past this? Do I just quietly confront her and do marriage counseling? Or do I just keep this from her and get her to come back home and act as if I know nothing about this? Update. Found out some devastating news recently. I have 5 kids, but there's a chance 3 of them are not biologically mine, possibly all 5 actually. The twins and the one my STBXDO is pregnant with. Still waiting on the results. I know she's still involved with the guy who may possibly be their father, and it's a big possibility that he'll want to be in their lives once this divorce is all over. But I love these girls with all my heart. I've been a dad to them for 5 years. They make me smile every time I hear their voices and see their grins. I know I'm a fool for even thinking this, but I really do care for these girls. Once this goes to family court, will I have any chance of getting 50-50 custody of the girls? Final update. I've confronted my wife. She was remorseful, but she doesn't regret it. Turns out the twins aren't mine, and neither is the newborn. Her parents knew about the affair. They discovered it long before I did. They had been helping them by having my wife, STBXDO, and her AP meet at their home. Why were her parents helping her instead of being decent people? They didn't want to risk being humiliated. Her parents, basically the entire family, are heavily involved in the church in our town. My 14-year-old and 10-year-old are staying with my brother and SIL. I don't have the strength to be able to take care of them right now. They hate their mother and refuse to speak to her. They're both in therapy. I am too. I tried to take the twins so they could be with their sisters, but my wife put up plenty of resistance. She was begging me. I'm positive AP is with her at the moment. I saw his car heading toward my in-laws' house as I left. AP was also married. I've been in contact with his wife, and she says she's filing for divorce. I haven't asked her if AP has tried to work things out, and frankly, I don't care. I always thought my in-laws were stuck up anyways. I'm glad they're all being ostracized. I informed AP's wife about the affair, and she will be filing for divorce. I also informed the church that my wife's family went to on what happened, NIL and FIL have been kicked out of the church, and from the looks of the church's social media page, they deleted anything related to them. I'm glad they're being humiliated. The one thing they feared the most is happening. NIL called me crying, wanting me to clear the situation up. What is there to clear up? FIL wanted me to work things out, but I simply asked if it was him in this situation, would he be working things out? He answered with silence before hanging up. My wife has been trying to reach out to me, but I refuse to answer her. I get just a tiny bit happy seeing how frantic she is to contact me. I don't know what she wants, and I don't want to speak to her anytime soon. I know I'll eventually have to. Before I got the results, I was ready to take her to court and get custody of the twins. As for my wife, everyone around town knows what happened. All my coworkers know, and even when I go to the grocery store, people confront me and give me their condolences. I was told that after I informed the church, a lot of members from there went to spread the word around town. I'm honestly just glad that the word is out there to everyone that my wife is a cheater who got pregnant by her AP 3 different times. Sometimes I do get sad whenever I think about what happened, but I try my best to continue to look at the bright side of things. She and her AP have destroyed their lives and reputation. OP, they didn't want to separate the kids from the biological father, who was passing them off on you. It sounds like your wife, her family, and the AP did their homework on paternity laws. He planned a pregnancy with your wife, but he didn't want the legal or financial responsibility. All states in the Union assign paternity to the husband regardless of biology. I find it hard to believe that she actually feels any remorse. She would be the only cheat in the universe who ever did. She was planning pregnancies with a little male who she knew could never possibly do the whole parenting role. She used you for that. Depending on the state you're in, you might be able to force legal paternity of the newborn onto the little male AP. Some states give you up to 2 years to dispute paternity. You will likely be stuck paying child support for his twins if you don't fight it out in court against him, though. There is some hope that you can sue him for all of it, so don't think it's hopeless. Some states do allow victims of paternity fraud to sue the biological father for current expenses and even for prior expenses starting on the date of birth. Definitely be looking into that. Paternity fraud, if shown to be known and intentional, can also be charged as a felony in some places, but prosecutions are rare. I know it can be hard to deal with what you're going through right now, but the psychopaths who tried to ruin your life have severely ruined theirs in the process. Go full on merciless with the child support issue because those two, along with your in-laws, were plotting on sticking you with the bill for a long time now. There are, in fact, several organizations bringing attention to paternity fraud and providing support for victims. I'll be happy to look them up and post them. Definitely reach out to them. Best of luck to you, OP. Now let's get into today's second story. My wife and I have a 5-year-old boy. My son is my favorite person in the world. We've been married for 8 years, but have known each other for 25 years, dating for 3 years prior to marriage. I know the baby isn't mine. We have not had sex in a while. She would make up an excuse or push me away for whatever reason she had at the time, and many of those reasons were believable. I had my suspicions for a while. She slept with a good friend of ours, who as of a few weeks ago is no longer our friend. I never did get a good answer as to why until 2 days ago. She doesn't work and is a stay-at-home mom. I work a lot and pay all of the bills. We own our home outright. 2 nights ago, she dropped this bombshell on me when I got home from work. She was crying and calling herself a bad person, etc. Then she said she was sorry for hurting my feelings, as opposed to sorry I cheated. She said she has not told anyone, not even our friend, the father, only her sister. We made an agreement that she would terminate the pregnancy and go to counseling. I was awash with emotions I have never felt before, but I thought to myself, maybe this could be a new beginning for us. To preface the next paragraph, I've always wanted a second child. According to her, her doctor told her she could not have any more kids. I was not at that appointment and trusted what my wife told me. I had no reason to not trust her at this point. This was 2 years ago. I know now that this was BS. I've also been tested and I was fertile. Last night, she came to me with a knife and asked me to kill our son because that is what I was asking her to do. She then tried to blame me for her infidelity, which I know is BS. She then started calling her pregnancy a miracle. This was an entire world of crazy from her that I have never seen before. Maybe I was just naive. She wants to keep the baby now, and I told her I want a divorce. I am very uncomfortable with the thought. I won't be able to read bedtime stories to my son every night now, and do the things we do every day together. And I'm not comfortable with my wife meeting someone new and my son calling him daddy. Because we are in California, I know I am screwed when it comes to divorce and child custody, and that isn't helping things. I cannot afford a lawyer, let alone a good one. I have done nothing wrong here. I've been telling myself that since D-Day. I get to go home and deal with this mess in a few hours. I don't want to see her or talk to her. I just want to see my son. I'm sorry if this seems all jumbled up, but I can't really think straight right now. Thank you for reading. OP, your wife is demented. She is determined to mess with your head and heart and guilt trip you. Soon she will start telling people you were abusive and had to escape you. Start telling everyone you know the truth. Get ahead of this game before she muddies your name and destroys your reputation, and then lawyer up. You need a recorder to record all your conversations with your wife. A false accusation might be her next step. You say she slept with a good friend. The way you wrote it, I got the impression that you think it was only once. My experience is that the chances of this being a one-time thing are close to zero. It's most likely an affair of some length. Unless you have proof otherwise, like their text saying it was only once, I think you're better off assuming it was some weeks, months of an affair. Get away from this crazy woman as quickly as possible. Thank you all for taking the time to listen to today's stories. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also, comment below with your thoughts on what happened. Take care.